What's up, guys? Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussions about the hottest topics with, of course, the coolest people from the bariatric community. I'm Rob, waiting in vain. This is Murph, aka Murph's losing it. Grab a chair, wind down from your busy day, and take a seat at the table. Murph, what's up? What's up, man?
Nothing much. We've got some snow here in Michigan. Canada, I'm sure you're seeing a little bit yourself.
Yep.
And then San Diego. We'll talk about San Diego. I don't want to talk about that right now. That'll bum me out. So yeah, how you doing?
I am good. I am getting ready for vacation, man. It is coming. We have a few more days. We're going to be in Jamaica, and I am looking forward to it, especially today after the snow. And it's just been crazy busy, so I'm ready to relax.
And you deserve a break, man. You've been busting your butt. You've been working hard. I'm happy for you. I'm really happy that you get to go down there. Bring back like a little jar of sand.
I will. I will. You know where I wish I did go though? I wish last weekend we were in Portland. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it. But before we get into the show, I just wanted to give huge shout outs and extend our sincere congratulations to April, Jason, and Natalie at Bari Nation for winning the favorite bariatric podcast at the Just Be You Bariatric Awards last weekend in Portland. And our boy, Rob, My Weight is History, for winning not only Best Men's Fitness, right? But also Favorite Male.
Yes.
Amazing. And he was nominated for a few different ones. So it's amazing that he won that. You know, he's such a big part of both of our stories. So you deserve it, Absolutely. Rob. We're super proud of all of you guys for representing our community in such a positive way. So congratulations, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really awesome to see them win those awards. And I wish we could have been there. Maybe next year. Well, we'll see. So tonight, switching gears a little bit, and I'm just going to do it abruptly because, time sensitive and whatnot. We just want to jump right in. Tonight, we're meeting with none other than Michael from San Diego. And man, I'm really excited. A couple weeks ago, you started talking to us about your story. You had some questions for us during our Q&A time. And we just started like really honing in on Mike. Like, this dude, Mike, has got a great story to share. I think he is going to be able to relate to a lot of people in a different way than maybe you and I could. And we just had to get him on the show. So, Mike, welcome to the Waiting Table, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate that.
Good to have you, man. Give us like 2-3 minutes. Just a little bit of your backstory. Where you coming from? When you had your surgery? Just a little bit of backstory, and then we'll unpack the other stuff later.
Yeah.
But just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, born and raised. I've always been a bigger guy. I've been into sports. I grew up surfing and stuff like that. And got bigger and bigger each year. And, I decided it was time to have surgery. I had surgery a little over 6 months ago, and I didn't really do it the traditional way. I went to, a lot of people don't know this, but I went to Mexico, to Tijuana, and had surgery done. And it was a wonderful experience. Very, very good. I know a lot of people think they steal your kidneys down there and do other things like that. It was a really, really good experience, and I would highly recommend at least the hospital and the surgeon that I used to anybody who is having trouble getting surgery in the States, or they can't afford it, or having insurance issues. But overall, I've had zero complications and nothing but positive results. That's pretty much the backstory. I'm down almost 100 pounds since surgery, a total of about 135, 140 pounds total. And I'm not here to coach anybody. I've still have got a lot of work to do. I got to lose like another 100 pounds. So that's a goal of mine in the next year to hit too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I have a little bit of a different angle. A lot of people have food addiction. My addiction stems from past alcohol abuse, and got sober, got healthy. My mental health wasn't good, and I fixed all that, and I'm at where I'm at because of that. So that's
awesome.
That's the gist of it. Yeah.
Congratulations, well, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, losing 140 pounds in any amount of time is really a feat, not to be taken lightly, or, you should definitely be proud of yourself for that. That's amazing. So good on you, man. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question, actually, it's more a continuation of sort of how we met you. So it was your question in regards to your stall. And I think there was so much information. There's so many different places we can go with this conversation with you. You talked about addiction, which I would definitely like to discuss at some point too. But let's talk about that stall, because for a lot of us who've had bariatric surgery, a lot of us going through the journey and the process, stalls are very real. Stalls can mess with your head. You had asked us a very specific question saying that, you were 6 months in, you had been stalling for a little bit. The scale hadn't moved, but
still in it.
But, so yeah, talk to us about that and some of the things going through your head when you go through your stall.
So this is the first real one. I mean, the weight just after surgery, it just kind of flew off. And, I've been noticing that I've been able to eat a lot more things, digest different things. So I've been trying different things, but still, counting my calories and logging pretty much everything that I'm consuming. But, I should still be losing. And I kind of just have been stuck this last month at the same weight, but I feel like I am losing inches. But the scale's not going down, and it's frustrating. It's been like a month now, and I know I've done really good, but that's really frustrating. And I talked to a couple different people, a nutritionist and things like that, and they're like, up your calories, more protein, more calories. Like you gotta do that and try it. And I've been doing that, and I'm starting to see a little bit of the scale move, and they said, keep it up, more calories, more protein. And that's kind of blows my mind, because you think in your brain, you want to be in a deficit, a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. And so I haven't been going to the gym as much as I have, and I've been upping my calories, and the scale's finally starting to go back down a little bit. It's so weird to me. I don't really I don't get that. I know it's a science, but it is what it is. So I'm going to trust them, and hopefully, it will kick back up and start going in the right direction again.
For sure.
So what where would you say you were at your heaviest, and where are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
Weight wise?
Yeah.
Well, weight wise, I was my heaviest was probably north of 440. Which is crazy. Like, I mean, I can't believe, like, during COVID, I just went crazy. Like I was in a really bad place, and just ate and drank myself to death, basically. And I think that when we started getting my clothes not fitting and scales not working that I'm stepping on, I'm like, I've got to do something. So right now I'm at like 315. Nice. So my goal weight's about 215. So I've got another 100 pounds to go.
Okay. That's some great success, man. And, raise your hand in the room if you have ever gone through a stall that seemed like it was never going to end. You know what I mean? Like every single one of us, I don't know if we're going to see some hands going up. You are definitely not alone in this.
Yeah.
And so and so many people would say, and I hate it. And sometimes I just want to reach through the device and be like, shut up, trust the process. Like, no, I don't want to trust the process. I want to eat my food. I want to enjoy it. And I want to lose weight at the same time. Or,
Right.
you know, I just want to live my life. And it's so mentally draining, you know, and so just want to let you know, and you are definitely not alone. Dee's been there, Mary's been there. Laurel says that they love you, and we're gonna get you through that stall, and we're gonna be laughing at this episode.
For sure,
today.
man.
I guarantee it. You know, remember when you couldn't get over that 315, and now you're, you know, now you're down. You know, it'll all work out. Any Rob, any advice or suggestions?
Yeah, this was actually one of the questions I was going to ask. So I went through a 9-week stall and I lost 2 pounds in 9 weeks. So anyone who's going through bariatric knows I could lose like 6 pounds a week, right? So 9 weeks losing 2 pounds when I was sort of hovering around, I don't know, 290 at that point. It was tough. But for me, I found what has always helped me throughout my whole journey from the very beginning all the way to where I am right now is sort of visualizing where I want to go, right? And understanding that, hey, I've taken all the steps to get there. It's going to come, right? So, you know, you mentioned trust the process, but not even that. Trust the work that you're putting in, right?
Absolutely.
Trust the fact that you've made this decision to get a healthier lifestyle. So it's going to get there. So I guess my question to you is there anything you do to keep motivated knowing that it's going to come? Like, I know for me, a big part of the challenge for that was finding people to sort of look towards. We talk about this all the time. This is the whole reason we came up with the waiting table, right? Is because we didn't have people to look towards when we started our bariatric surgeries or our bariatric journeys. So what do you do to sort of keep motivated, keep thinking forward?
Me?
Yeah. Sorry, Mike.
Well, man, it's pretty motivating when your clothes start fitting well and you feel good. Like, I just feel so good. The things that I can do, the little things, like we talked about is, you know, wearing jeans again for the first time instead of stretch pants or like stupid stuff like that. You don't think about that, but those little things motivate me, like being able to walk around a full day without being tired and have to sit down. You know, just having the energy, and then just feeding off everybody in this community is huge. So like everyone, you know, seeing everybody succeed motivates me. It makes me want to be there. And, you know, I feed off that. So and my girlfriend's great too. We feed off each other. Like we motivate each other to stay on track. So that's a huge part of it as well.
That's awesome, man. It's definitely a challenge. There's a lot of different areas where we can struggle, and being able to look towards your support network is a big part of that, right? So it's good that you have people to sort of look towards. And you mentioned about like wearing jeans. We joked around when we had that call previously that and funny enough, we're all wearing black. Well, we're wearing black. I think Mark's wearing a black tank top underneath. There you go. So we're all wearing black. But I was saying that back in the day, like my uniform 24/7 all year round was black jogging pants, black t-shirt, and everything black because it's slimming, right? But yeah, man, now that once you start getting, you know, into jeans and other clothes, all of a sudden things open up. You want to do a lot of these other things. So for sure, keep up with that, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure, man. So let's before time gets away from us, I really wanted to talk about the addiction, right? So food, I came to the realization one day talking to my buddy Phil. He's been sober for 15 years, 13, 15 years, something like that. Anyways, so he's talking about addiction, and then it dawned on me that like, oh my gosh, I am struggling with an addiction food was my addiction. I would turn to food for everything. Hence the weight gain. You know, if I was happy, I was eating. If I was sad, I was eating. If I was celebrating a birthday, I was eating. If whatever I was doing, I was eating. But for you, your addiction story is a little bit different. And tell us about that, and where you are in that journey, and how long you've been a part of that journey, the addiction journey.
So it's kind of funny because I'll mix the two. I was actually in a weight loss program probably, gosh, it was five years ago with Kaiser, which is a local medical system here in California. And I sat down. I've always drank and partied my butt off, in my adult years. But I joined this weight loss program back 5 years ago, and I'm in this room, and you have to do these classes, and I'm sitting with these people, and these people are breaking down, like crying, like, God, I went to McDonald's and ate like 10 hamburgers at 2 a.m. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't belong here. Like, I don't do that. I don't sit there and eat. I don't have these habits of stuffing my face with pizza and stuff like that. How I coped with things was alcohol. And, I drank heavily, and then COVID, and then I dropped out of that program because I felt like it wasn't a fit for me. I felt like, hey, I don't have a food addiction, but then I kept drinking heavily and was taking in, I think I told you guys, like 5 to 10,000 calories, just in empty calories in alcohol alone a day. So like the amount that I was consuming was just stupid. I was killing myself. I put me in the hospital 3 times and almost killed me, literally. And this last time during COVID, the last time I was like, I had enough, and decided to get sober. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. It's still not easy. I have to work at it daily. But I've been sober almost a year now, completely. And I'm going to continue doing that because, to be honest with you, I look at the pictures and remember the times of me in the hospital almost dying. So I don't want to be back there. And if I continue this up and the weight loss and everything like that, it's just going to be a good life. So that's all I want. But now I'm a year sober almost, and that had to come first before the weight loss, because without that, I would have my whole mental health would have been completely screwed, and I wouldn't have been able to accomplish what I've accomplished so far this year without getting sober. So that's awesome. The most important. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you quit cold turkey, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, it was so bad that it did put me in the hospital, because they say drinking withdrawals are worse than heroin withdrawals. Right. And you can have seizures. Like, you have to be medically surveyed on a daily basis, and I didn't do that. It was very scary, very scary. And yeah, I mean, I'm laughing about it. It's no funny business, but I'm glad I made it. And like I said, the nurses saw me the 3rd time I ended up in the hospital. They were surprised to see me. I remember seeing a nurse; she thought I would be dead. So,
wow.
So yeah, I had to make a change, or else I wasn't gonna make it. So made the change. I work on it every day. I attend meetings. I surround myself with, positive people, and just one day at a time.
Yeah,
it sounds corny, but it works.
No, something I've started saying lately is just be better than you were yesterday. Yep. Focus on just taking it one day at a time, and just if you're better than you were yesterday, you're going to see results, and you just keep going and going and going with that. Be better than you were yesterday. I want to go back to the comments real quick. Viking Blood, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ. He said that he is very proud. Where was that? He said that you're an a true inspiration. So much love there from Viking Blood. That's really awesome. Mary said, have you kept up with your measurements and progress pictures? That's a great question.
Yeah.
Mike, is that something you've been doing? Measuring is really important, you know.
Measuring, I need to start doing, because I think that would make me feel better a lot about these
100%,
stalls.
man.
Yeah, we need to do that. And then also pictures, I've definitely been taking pictures, because if I ever feel bad about myself or about my progress, I'll just look at an old picture and it makes me feel
Good
better.
stuff.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, the measurements I need to start doing for sure.
Yeah. Especially if you're hitting the gym, you know, and if you're active and you're doing things in the gym, you could be, you know, losing weight, gaining, losing fat, gaining muscle, you know, you're transferring the weight. You might still be at the same weight, but if you're taking those measurements, you never know, you might surprise yourself. So, you know, that's a great question, Mary. Thank you for asking that. Oops, I don't want to delete that person. You're a daily weigher? Is that right?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
I know they say not to do it, but I can't help it.
I still am a daily weigher. That tells me what I need to do today. You know, I get on the scale, and that sets my mind straight. I know I got to have my coffee, and and then the rest of it I got to behave, or spoil myself a little bit and have some fun with life. You know, daily weighing in is important.
Whatever works for you, right?
Sets the tone sometimes. Viking Blood again saying, so proud of you, man. That was while you were talking about overcoming that addiction. Is that Coondog CLMT said, me too, Mikey, and it ain't easy, homie. We are partners or partiers. Partiers. I see it now. Partiers. Yeah. So dude likes to party and, not drinking while you're having fun. I mean, yeah, we eat, we drink when we're having a good time, but also when we're having the bad times too. So D said, much respect to you. Mary has a question. Rob, do you want to read that question from Mary, the DTs?
Yeah, she's just saying that nothing to play around with. It's pretty typical for people to switch addictions, which actually comes to my question. So, yeah, addiction transfer is a term that's used quite a lot in like post bariatric surgery. So for a lot of us, it was an addiction to food, and that was actually one of my questions for you. Is food was so related to other things, right? Emotions, stress, all these different things. I know you mentioned partying as being a big part of the reason why you're drinking, which is for a lot of us, right? But was drinking also related to all those other stressors and led to that? So I guess that's part one, and part two would be, do you see any addiction transfers to anything else, or are you concerned about that?
No, mine was mainly alcohol. I mean, for the last few years of my addiction, like was shutting everybody off. I was drinking by myself in my apartment. Yeah. Like I shut out so many friends and family and was just, just drinking by myself. Like it got really ugly, like really bad. So, I completely transitioned into an antisocial drinker, I guess you can say. And I can't sit here and say that, no, I had no food addiction. My main addiction was alcohol, but I wouldn't eat for 4 or 5 days at a period, like at a time. And then the 5th day, when my body absolutely had to have some sort of food, I would just gorge on pizzas and burgers and anything greasy to soak up all that alcohol. Like, so, and what the doctor told me is like, I have a thyroid condition. So, that completely screwed up my thyroid. My thyroid doesn't work, basically. I'm on like some pretty serious medication. So even when I was working out a lot, it was hard to lose the weight because of the hypothyroidism. So, that's another thing too, but that's from the alcohol abuse, is what the doctor told me. So, because you're not eating at all. All you're doing is consuming liquids, and then the alcohol, and then you're just stuffing your face of just greasy, fat food, and it's just a bad combo, a really bad combination. So
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Dee had a great suggestion, something that I've never really thought about. Make one day a week the weigh-in day that matters. And then because he says he weighs in every day, but Saturdays is the one that he charts or graphs. So that's a really good idea.
That's what I do about that. Yeah, I do something really similar to that.
What's your official weigh-in day?
Well, I do mine monthly. So I do mine on the 25th of each month. I weigh myself every day and kind of keep a mental, gauge of where I'm at for the week. And then and then the 25th, I actually write it down so I can go back and look, and see, where I'm at. So
is there significance behind it?
I don't recall what it is. I think it was like the first day I went back to the gym or something like that. I want to say it was after the surgery, of course.
Okay. Mary said she doesn't think there's anything wrong with the daily weigh-in as long as you look at the long term and the overall picture, which is really important. I mean, you're not going to see results day to day, but if you look at the month, the past month, you'll definitely see those results. And and if you're measuring as well, I mean, I think you definitely see results 1 month apart. Dee said take some shirtless pics once a week in the same pose. That's good information or good advice. Getting a lot of support here, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, man.
Trying to keep up with all the comments. You want to take the next one, Robert? Did you have another question? You want to take a break from the comments?
No, I had another question, but yeah, I'd love to share this. So, Kay Culloden said, just popped on to support you, Mike, and tell you that you're amazing and awesome and you got this. It's so hard to be vulnerable, but putting yourself out there helps others. All love. Chris Phelps says, it's really refreshing to see men being vulnerable and sharing to help others. Appreciate your leadership and respect the work you are all doing to lift others up. 100%, man. And Murph and I mentioned this, like,
thanks, Chris.
Murph had so much, and he shared with me that he's been really, really excited about this episode. And the reason why is because, like, this hits home for us, right? Like, I think we've had some great shows. We've had some great guests. They were amazing. But this, at the end of the day, is the reason why we do this. This is the reason why Murph and I get nervous or excited before shows, because it's having people come out and support each other. And again, do the things that we didn't have access to, or we didn't know where to look early on. So, I know Dee had mentioned that he was moving around his gym sessions or his workout sessions to come out to support other members of our community. We have such a great community, so it's amazing to see all that happening, and for everyone for jumping on and tuning in here to support. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to jump on Mary's comment about long term, whether it's with weighing or whatever or whatnot. So one thing for me that really, really helped, again, I had mentioned visualization, really looking forward to. So like I will ask you, you're 6 months in, you are very fresh to this in the grand scheme of things. We all are, like, even me, I'm 2 years in, I'm still fresh to this. You're in my shoes now, 2 years in. Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be in all aspects of your life in regards to this journey? Because I think it's really, really important to have that idea, right? Because that's gonna be what keeps you going and keep you striving forward.
Right. Well, I would love to be in a position to help others, just like you guys are. Given the tools that I've been given, and having a reset at a new life, I think, and that goes for both the addiction angle and the weight loss angle. I have a soft spot for people who are struggling both with their mental health, addiction, and with weight loss. I'm no gym rat. I stick to the cardio. I don't really lift weights or anything like that. It's something I do want to get involved with, but I just want to. My main goal is to be happy, healthy, and uh, if somebody does need me or someone needs advice, I can be there and provide that for them, and a shoulder to cry on, and somebody to say, hey, this is what I did and this is how I did it. And here you go. Here's the tools I used, and hopefully, whether that be with addiction or weight loss, I can be that shoulder to lean on.
That's awesome to hear, man. Because no, sorry, go on.
Well, I was just gonna say I appreciate what you guys do, because I don't know if I would go about it, with a podcast or anything like that, but I greatly appreciate what you guys do, because it's very helpful for someone so new into surgery, because you get all these, like, am I supposed to be stalling? Am I supposed to have pain here? Am I supposed to be eating this types of food already so early after surgery? Like, what's normal, what's not? I mean, it's especially with me, since I did my surgery in Mexico, the communication is not the best. So I can't just pick up the phone and call my doctor. I mean, I can, but for one, he doesn't speak very good English. He does, but it's different. The hospital systems are different down there than they are here in the States. So that was a little bit of a risk too, choosing to do that in Mexico, but glad I did. And yeah.
I am super happy to hear that explanation of where you want to be in 2 years. And the reason why is, especially early on, I understand, like, it's really easy for people to say, at this point, X point, whatever it is, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, I want to weigh 170 pounds. I want to do this. I want to be able to wear this, whatever the case might be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that should be part of, like, I always see goals as not necessarily one point, right? It's more of a vision or an idea. And I love that what you said was based on one thing, which is happiness and being healthy, right? Because at the end of the day, that's where all of this leads to, right? Like, whether I'm 170, whether I'm 190, whether I'm 210, if I'm healthy and I'm happy, all that matters. Everything else will fall into place. And in the grand scheme of all this, long term, if I'm not at that ideal weight, that I'm just going to be, stressing about not being there, it doesn't really matter, right? So kudos to you for thinking in that direction, for sure.
Thank you.
D said he'll be an accountability partner if you need him. Just DM him. We want you to win. You have any support you need, brother. Loving you. Elise said, loving you, sharing your struggles with alcohol. I definitely can relate. Mary said the audio is great tonight. I got this mic fixed. That helps. That helps.
I don't see half these comments that you're reading.
No, they're way up, man. I'm going
Are they?
back up to the, we got tons. Mikey, surfing again will help big time. That's from Kundog. Have you considered surfing again? Is that something you're looking at doing, or?
That's a huge goal of mine. I mean, I want to get back at I grew up surfing, did it 3 times a day till I was in my early 20s, and I miss it so much. And when you get big, you can't do that. You're, for one, you're tired. You can't, you can't even fit in a wetsuit. And, that's a huge goal of mine. To be back out there again. Like, I never thought that would ever happen again, but I'm getting close. And that's 100% a goal of mine.
Sweet, man.
The ocean is amazing.
I can't wait to see those pics and those videos of you surfing again, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna celebrate this together, man. It's gonna happen. You just wait. You just wait. Look, bro, I'm so in. Yeah, I would love to. I went to Venice Beach back when I was a kid, and I was too young to be out on the waves, but I've always wanted to surf. I've never surfed. I would love to surf in Cali. Looking good, Mike. Proud of how far you have come. That's from Boats and Sails 27. That time will come sooner than you can imagine. This process is painfully slow, and like for the past 16 months for me, it's just flown by like that. But at the same time, like, yeah, it's like, when am I going to lose that, that next 10 pounds or that next, Chris Phelps again. So that was from D. Chris Phelps again said, Mike, I'd love to hear something that you learned about yourself during your journey that you didn't expect. Great question, man.
Great question.
And D went to Tijuana as well.
Oh, wow.
For surgery or for partying?
Yeah,
right. Something that I learned about myself.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of living without alcohol. You kind of have to revisit your personality. Like I had to learn how to do things sober. Like socially, I thought I was the most social butterfly, and it really was masking. The alcohol was masking my anxiety, my social anxiety and stuff like that. So now that I got sober, like I had to learn how to, hang out with friends, do certain things. I was literally drunk doing everything, which is embarrassing, but it was true. And I had to learn how to live life sober. Like it's still a work in progress. So I'm surprising myself on how much fun I'm having doing life sober. So that's one thing that I think is really cool. I'm surprised how much I can get around and do things with all this weight off me. Like the amount of, like, just going to a baseball game or going, this stupid little things like that, like being able to walk miles and miles and miles and not even think about having to sit down or like take a break. Or before, like I used to purposely look for parking places close because I didn't want to have to walk. I mean, you guys the whole routine,
Absolutely.
So little things like that, I'm really proud of, that, that I can do normal things these days,
Nice.
But
let me ask you a question, actually, in regards to what you had mentioned about relearning socially how to be things and who you are sober. This is a conversation I've had with a lot of people. I was always a specific type of person, and I think it was somewhat as a result of me being big, right? Like I would always be the very loud. We've talked about this. I'd always be the very loud person at parties, always joking around, and part of me, I always felt I did that to take attention away from the fact that I was big, right? Not knowing or not realizing that, hey, I'm drawing attention to the fact that I'm big, right? I would always make fun of myself because I felt like I could slide it in before someone else would make fun of me. Like there are all these different things that now, as I'm smaller, I don't have those same parts to me socially. I'll still make fun of myself before anyone else, but with some of these other things, do you find that might be part of it as well, or do you think it's strictly related to your relationship with alcohol?
I think it's mostly the alcohol, to be honest with you. Yeah. I've had to completely 180 my life into, just the way I do things. It's like night and day.
Nice.
So yeah, it's definitely the alcohol.
Nice.
I've just got one question for you, and I appreciate you being so open and honest and vulnerable and just putting it all out there. But the next question I have for you may go a little bit deeper.
Okay.
But just know this is solely for accountability's sake. Okay. You're in a stall right now. Are you thinking about where are you mentally? How are you doing? What can we do to help you? Do you feel like you're going to relapse at any point and start drinking again, or how are you doing mentally? Just out of curiosity, but also to be there for you and support you and help you out, if you don't mind being brutally honest with us.
Yeah, mentally, I'm pretty good. I do have a strong support system, my girlfriend and my close friends, and of course I am involved in AA, so I go weekly. So I have a really good support system. I meditate, I read a lot. I do the things that they tell you to do to defuse any feelings of drinking. So as of now, I'm good. I know the stalls come and go. I know that. I've done a lot of research. I've talked to a lot of people. I know it's just part of the thing. And from everybody that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to a lot of people, it's about consistency. Just staying consistent, tracking your food, keep doing what you're doing, and it will come off eventually. And that's kind of the attitude that I'm at. I have absolutely no desire to drink. I look at old pictures of myself and I say, okay, look what you have accomplished in these 11 months of being sober and having surgery. And it's just crazy the things that I've accomplished in my life this last year. So I wouldn't want to risk throwing all that all away, Good. So I'm in a good place. The stall is frustrating, but it's not killing me inside. It's really not.
Okay, good. Awesome. Well, yeah. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I know when I would go through a stall, I wanted to eat more. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It on paper, it doesn't make sense. In my mind, it didn't make sense, but it's like because I've been battling depression almost my whole life. And if something were to get me down, I would turn quickly to food. So if I were in a stall, I would start eating. So I was just curious, what do you turn to, and so I'm glad you've got your head screwed on straight and you're getting the help you need, the support system. Your girlfriend, it seems like, great support for you. We're here for you. Dee's here for you. Chris Phelps is here for you. Carrie's here for you. Mary's here for you. We're all here for you, man. And we're just so proud of you.
That's awesome.
And
that's awesome.
And honestly, the biggest takeaway I had from that whole answer that you had for me was when you were talking about how proud you are of some of the things that you've accomplished. Like, it's so hard for people to be proud of themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Especially people like, who we meet in the community are like, oh yeah, I lost 150 pounds. Even me, when I talk to a lot of people, they're like, oh, how much did you lose? And I'm very sheepish about saying, yeah, I lost 200 pounds or I've done this. But listening to you talk about how proud you are for everything you've done and everything you've accomplished, that's huge. So that's gonna bring you a long way, man. That's awesome.
And that was hard. That was hard for me to do for the longest time. Like, I finally had to just break down the walls and be, you have accomplished a lot. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. So
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, it to me, man, I mean, you're only 6 months post-op. I don't think I was that confident or that happy with myself or my results or had my head screwed on that straight at 6 months. I think you're ahead of the game, brother, and I think you're killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does anyone have any last minute questions you want to throw our way before we start signing off? I will leave that to Murph to see because I can't see any questions on my chat.
So Carrie was applauding all your success. Chris Phelps said, be proud. That's a significant list of positive changes.
Nice.
Appreciate you answering the question that he asked. Dee said he had his surgery in Tijuana. He doesn't party. He said he's a nerd.
Is he still on? Can you ask him what hospital he went to in Tijuana?
Yeah, Dee. Would you care to share? Dee commented to Carrie. Hopefully Canada warmed up a little bit.
Nope. I do have something I want to say about the hospital that I did go to, if I have a minute or so.
Yeah, go for it.
So
plug away.
I went to the hospital called Oasis of Hope, and it's in Tijuana, and it is actually known for curing cancer. It's a world-renowned cancer facility, and they also now are doing bariatric surgery. One half of it, they're actually curing cancer with the type of food, diet and holistic different things, and it's pretty remarkable. But the weight loss side of it, just I've heard thousands of people that have, they come from all over the world to go to this place. And a lot of people, if you're watching or seeing this and you can't have surgery in the States or in Canada or whatever it may be because of insurance reasons, or I had to sleep for under $5,000 and it was amazing.
Nice.
They pick you up at the San Diego airport and drop you off. Like there's ways to do it and it's safe, and and I'm not getting paid. It's changed my life. And if you have an extra $5,000, it can change your life. You can't get it done in the States. So
this episode brought to you by Oasis.
Oasis of Hope.
So let me run the video of the commercial.
So D said he had his at Pompeii Medical Center. He said it was amazing, top notch. So I think that's a little different, but still he has had great success as well. So they're doing something right in Tijuana. So that's cool.
Not everything right, but
they're doing something right. They got they got you going, and I'm proud of you, man. You're doing great. Thank you for meeting with us, man. This has been such an honor to have you and hear your story. It's so relatable, refreshing, different, new. You're just an awesome guy, and I think we've all learned a little something and got to meet somebody cool. So this has been great.
Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
man, thank you. And again, be very, very proud of everything you've achieved and accomplished, man. You've earned it.
Absolutely.
Awesome job.
Absolutely. Next week, guys, we will not be meeting at the waiting table next Wednesday due to American Thanksgiving, the USA's Thanksgiving. Canada already had their Thanksgiving. And Rob's going to Jamaica.
And
I'm going to Detroit.
No Tijuana.
There's no Tijuana.
Take it.
So we will not be having the Waiting Table podcast next Wednesday. The next time we will be meeting is also not the Wednesday after that. It'll be on Friday, December 2nd. We're going to be meeting with Jeannie again for her second part 2 episode. And we've got a special announcement. Well, she has a special announcement that she wants to share. She's got some awesome things going on, and we wanted to get her back for a second episode real quick. She was awesome. We loved having her, and can't wait to meet with her again. So our next episode will be December 2nd. That's a Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So Mary said, nice to meet you. Dee said, this was awesome. Congrats, Mike. Carrie said, reach out, Mike, if you ever need anything. We are all family, such a supportive community. Man, feeling the love. Love it.
Awesome,
thank you guys so
Mike,
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Yeah, thanks,
That's
Mike.
all the time
We'll
we've got
for
tonight, guys. Thanks so much for joining us on the Waiting Table podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community
1 pound at a time.
Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.